I want to go back to Scottie Pippen and watching the documentary. I totally agree with you. If you would have never seen Scottie Pippen play and you watched that documentary, you may not realize that he was a top 50 player. You wouldn't realize that he's a Hall of Famer. So I agree with you. The way he was portrayed in that documentary it wasn't fair.
Yeah, you know the part to me that I used to tell Scotty all the time, man, you just as cold as MJ. He just has more. He has more of that stuff that the commercial. He has the commercial value, but you could have been marketed the same way, brother. And for me, I knew that. I told Scotty before the championship run when we actually won, and I told him in Detroit when we got beat the 6th game when he was sick or whatever, is that we needed him to do certain things that he had to do almost without MJ knowing what he was doing, because it was a certain quality that MJ knew Scotty possessed that was equal on par with his. And Scotty was one of those players, and he came into it under MJ's tutelage to a degree. So he had utmost respect for MJ and helping MJ build that platform. And for me, it was one of those things, like you say, if someone who didn't know the impact of Scotty, they would have looked at it and said, man, that dude was an ass. You know what I'm saying? He had no teammanship at all, when it was just the opposite, man. Scotty was one of the best teammates I've ever played with, man. He kept the game. He kept practice fun. Him and Horace together were like bookends, and as far as the way they came to practice, they brought a different level of the youth that they brought to it was a fresh air of freshness, and compared to other teams that I had been on where it was really a like you dreaded almost going to practice. Where with us we had great chemistry, man, and that's why I felt like for MJ to say that about Scotty, and the part to me that was so eye-opening of how you was trying to guide this thing is that when you bring up the point that Scotty wouldn't go in when Tony Kukoc made the shot, and I said, what did that have to do with Michael Jordan when you weren't even on that team? So
Right.
why you bring that to the consciousness where people have forgot about that? And Scotty's market, him being a top 50 and Hall of Famer, that like covered that little dark period. But for you to bring it back up was totally, that was some jerk shit.